so much for your interest in this GoFundMe page. I wanted to just share a little bit of background about what this is all about. My sweet friends Lindsay and Allison insisted that this was a good idea, and that they really wanted to spearhead an effort to support me and my family in getting a therapy dog for our son. So let me tell you a little bit more, give you some background. Who are we? We are the Moon family. My name is Allison Moon. My husband is Jacob Moon, and we have 3 kids, Gabriel, Simon, and Amelia. Our kids came to us by way of adoption through the local Children's Aid, and they are now 8, 9, and 10. And our oldest son has fetal alcohol spectrum disorder and ADHD. And what that means, for those of you who don't know what that means, he basically has, he had an injury to his brain in utero, and it meant certain parts of his brain didn't actually form and other parts were affected. What this means for him in day-to-day life is there are definitely some challenges. He has trouble with his short-term memory, with his consequential thinking, his ability to make good judgments, and his emotional regulation. So his moods fluctuate quite a bit, and he has a difficult time managing his emotions. It also means that his social maturity has been affected. So typically these kiddos are sort of half their age developmentally. So he's 10, but he's more like a 4 or 5-year-old, and you can see that when he's playing with younger kids, he does quite well with them, and he seems more comfortable. Anyway, what all this has meant, that's just a very brief snapshot of FASD. It's a lot more complex than that, but we have always noticed that Gabe has had a great knack for animals. He seems to understand animals, and they seem to understand him. So I've sort of had this in the back of my mind. Of course, every day living with this is a real challenge, and so as parents, we're constantly looking for ways to improve his quality of life and to help prevent some of the more serious and tragic outcomes that can occur for these kids. So, and also just to help with our family life at home, which is quite tumultuous and difficult. Anyway, so I began my research on looking into dogs and therapy dogs in particular. Turns out they actually train, there's a place, well, there might be more than one, but there is a place in Canada and also in the States that train therapy dogs specifically for FASD. And the outcomes are pretty amazing, actually. These dogs are so able to pick up on changing stress levels and actually offer a real therapeutic effect in terms of helping decrease the rage and manage feelings of isolation and frustration and everything else. So these dogs end up being a pretty vital part of these kids' lives. Anyway, as I'm looking into this, I also discovered that it's a fairly lengthy process, about 2 or 3 years to train a dog. And it's very expensive. It's about $20,000 to $25,000 to do that. So we very quickly sort of erased that as an option, because that would just, that's not a reasonable thing for us at this point, even though we see the value in it. So anyway, I began to research, as I tend to do, research less expensive alternatives. And it looks like as long as you get a dog that is the right kind of breed, and we believe we've found that with the Sheepadoodle. It's part sheepdog, part poodle. So you need a dog that's very bright, a dog that's very social, and that has a calm nature, and loves people. So basically the process is going to be that we just train him puppy training, but then when he gets a little bit older, we'll be able to train him as an emotional support dog for Gabriel. So it's a family pet, but the reason we're getting the pet is primarily because of Gabriel. We don't really need one more thing to look after in our home, but we feel like the benefit for him might be worth it. We're hoping and praying that this is going to really work out for him, and this dog is going to become his best friend. Anyway, so what we are doing in this GoFundMe campaign is just asking for a portion of the funds that it's going to take to train this dog to do this very important work for Gabe and for our family. So thanks so much for your interest. Feel free, if you have any questions, just drop them below or send us an email, and you'll see in the next part of the video a video of Gabriel holding our new puppy who comes home tomorrow. His name is Huckleberry, and he's a little love, and he seems like a really chilled out guy. So thanks again for your support. I really appreciate it. Take care.
You're like, what's that? What's that? What are you doing? Ow, you're not a puppy, Gabe. You're not a puppy. You're. Oh man, he thinks he's a puppy. If that was Daniel, that would be pretty.
Show Amelia the whole size.
Yeah, well, we have
Here.
to show our
Here,
sister,
here.
right? Yeah. She's gonna be not so happy that we did this without her.
He's getting crushed.